4 decades after the end of the war, Vietnam is welcoming millions of visitors every year. They come from Europe, North America, and beyond to experience the food, culture, and tropical beaches of this once war-torn country. We came to experience an unscripted Vietnam adventure from the saddle of a motorbike.
Welcome to Vietnam!
I watched the 2008 episode of Top Gear where they rode across the country and I was sold. I knew that after that, I had to come to Vietnam.
The idea of riding a motorcycle from Saigon to Hanoi was very appealing to me. We spent a couple of days getting oriented to Vietnam in Ho Chi Minh City. Still commonly known as Saigon, it was the former capital of South Vietnam. Since the reunification of Vietnam in 1976, Hanoi is the capital, but Saigon is still the largest city. More than 12 million people live here. That's a lot more than even New York City. To me, it felt like they were all out on the street at once. Even crossing a busy street here can seem a daunting task.
The only way to see Vietnam is on a motorbike, without any question.
We found a company that would rent us motorcycles in Saigon and drop them off in Hanoi. So with the swipe of a credit card, our Vietnam motorcycle adventure was underway.
You're with the people, with the road, with the country, with the smells, with all those beautiful things that make Vietnam.
80–90% of the people do it on a Honda Win, which is a very cheap motorbike, 100 to 110 cc.
Fairly reliable?
Not reliable at all. You know?
Oh no, now you're scaring me. Our trip is basically a 1,500-mile coastal motorcycle tour along beautiful beaches, the South China Sea.
Think of going with the school of fish. Don't go faster, don't go slower, just go with the school of fish.
Our plan was to ride 2-lane coastal roads along the beach and be looking at the ocean and going through small fishing villages. But there are a lot of times when you just have to get on the interstate.
Once you get off the A1 highway and into the countryside, Vietnam opens itself up to you.
We're heading to Hanoi.
How you get there?
On my bike.
No, you're joking.
You too, eh?
I don't think so.
Yeah. You need a bit of an adventurous palate to really enjoy the food here. The seafood is remarkable and very, very spicy.
The best food we've had so far was in Nha Trang Beach at this seafood restaurant. The seafood's laid out in front of you. You get to choose your dish right there live from the basket. They prepare it for you and it's a delicious smorgasbord of Vietnamese awesomeness.
The best seafood in Vietnam is Nha Trang, and especially this place is the #1. They have lobster, they have crab, they have shrimp, they have snail, they have shell, scallops. Whatever you can think of about seafood, they have it here.
We found some of our most memorable eating experiences and some of the best food and some of the nicest people we met on the street while eating street food.
Street food is the best.
A banh mi sandwich is a French baguette with just about any kind of meat you can think about in it.
Bánh mì is one of the very popular food in Hanoi. French people, they bring baguette, pate and ham to our country. Becomes very popular in Vietnam. Normally, for the original one, in bánh mì is a pate and jambon. Jambon is ham and vegetable. We have cucumber, carrot, and cilantro. Our family sell bánh mì for more than 30 years.
Banh mi for me.
The Vietnamese coffee out here, it's to die for. You got this really strong coffee, this super sweet condensed milk, and it's always ice.
As a lifelong photographer, one of my dreams has been to see the world through the viewfinder of a camera, and Vietnam has been an amazing photographic experience. There's nothing more exhilarating than having the opportunity to shoot in a foreign land where everything just seems so exotic and different from the routine of life in America. There's nothing more spectacular than seeing the sun rise over the South China Sea and just watching Vietnam come to life with the first light of the new day. One of the most fun photographic experiences on this trip was visiting the Buddhist temple and just capturing the monks chanting Vietnam was a beautiful community in the mountains. There are more waterfalls around Dalat than anywhere in Vietnam. We made a point of visiting Elephant Falls.
Quite a hike.
Traveling in a foreign country where the language, the culture, and the geography are all unknown can be a bit challenging. But every time we've had a hiccup in our trip, the Vietnamese people have been kind, accommodating, and very helpful. I had the good fortune of getting a Vietnamese language lesson from a couple of college students in Hue.
Xin chào.
Hello.
Xin chào.
Xin chào. And cảm ơn.
Cảm ơn.
Thank you.
Cảm ơn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Even more fun for me was getting to help some Vietnamese children improve their English language skills. We've been on the bike for 11 days now. Here we are in Hoi An, the ancient city. We thought we'd take a couple of days and just enjoy ourselves. Vietnam has more than 3,200 kilometers of coastline. The economies of ports like Ho Chi Minh City rely on shipping. Commercial fishing is also important to the economy of Vietnam. But more and more, Vietnam's beaches are becoming a magnet for tourism. The ancient city of Hoi An is full of custom tailor shops. This is one of the few places where you can get a high-end custom tailored suit for about $100 US delivered in less than 24 hours.
For you, we can make the shirt, the suit, the jacket, the trouser, whatever you want.
How long does it take?
So we can make in one day.
Vietnam is an energetic and youthful culture. Roughly half of Vietnam's 90 million people are younger than age 30. Hanoi is the capital of Vietnam. With 6.5 million people, it is the second largest city in this country. Tourists flock to the Old Quarter, which is the hub of culture and commerce.
So far, we've been from Ho Chi Minh to Dalat to Nha Trang to Quang Huy. After Hoi An, we'll go to Hue. After Hue, we hit the Hai Van Pass. After the Hai Van Pass, there's the Ho Chi Minh Trail. That's our end goal, is after Ha Long Bay, then we fly home. One of the main parts of riding a motorbike across Vietnam is it's not if, it's when you break down. And when you do break down, there's always a motorcycle repair shop within a couple kilometers down the road. I've broken down twice. The first time was 10 kilometers from our destination. The second time was halfway up a mountain in his 300cc truck. We loaded the bike into the back of it, no straps. I'm straddling the bike with my hands, holding it on, going around these hairpin turns coming down a mountain.
Somehow or another, we were able to find a mechanic, get him to understand what the problem was, and to fix it. Part of what made this trip doable was a smartphone with GPS and the internet. We were able to access maps online. We were able to choose our hotels and restaurants based on the reviews that other people had left before us. Doing a little navigation.
Yeah, getting ready to roll.
Stay away from the A1. It's dangerous, it's dirty, and it's a nightmare.
Highway 1's Vietnam's busiest road. It's the major road that connects the south to the north of the country. It's also the most dangerous road and the most vehicles on it at any time.
The citadel in Hue, part of the imperial city, is a walled fortress in the once capital of Vietnam. In spite of being protected by a moat and fortified ramparts, Most of this historic place was destroyed during the Tet Offensive of 1968. The remaining buildings are being restored at this now UNESCO World Heritage Site. We also visited Hue's Tien Mu Pagoda. Built in the early 1600s, this 7-story Buddhist temple is the tallest religious building in Vietnam. During the Vietnam War, the Ho Chi Minh Trail was a main supply route, and this was also where many of the major battles were fought. Rugged mountains, curvy roads, perfect for motorcycles.
We're leaving Da Nang now. We're about to do the Hai Vinh Pass. This is one of the most famous roads in Vietnam. Curvy, mountainous, but get this, we didn't count on having to do it in the rain. We've made it to the top of the Hai Vinh Pass. These are not the conditions we would have chosen. Epic adventure. This is what we signed up for.
We started our descent. Almost immediately, the fog went away, the sky turned blue, the roads dried up, and we got to really experience taking these curvy roads a little bit more aggressively. Everywhere that we have traveled in Vietnam, we have seen explosive growth. Infrastructure development like commercial construction and highway paving projects are commonplace. Here's a few interesting facts. According to the World Bank, 25 years ago, per capita income in Vietnam was less than $100 US. 2.5 decades later, it is more than $2,000. The unemployment rate, remarkably, is less than 2%. And Vietnam's #1 trading partner? You guessed it, the United States of America. We rode our motorcycles onto the Cat Ba ferry through Ha Long Bay to Cat Ba Island. The atmosphere was a little bit dreamlike.
Spectacular, even in the fog.
Cat Ba Island is a quiet, peaceful part of Vietnam in the beautiful Ha Long Bay. We're able to see these amazing islands and sculptures in the middle of the ocean, carved out by time itself. most rewarding part of this journey was getting on the bikes every day and riding them to a different city throughout the entire country. Things got a little crazy at times. We kept it together, we filmed the whole thing, and we made it the whole way.
The people of Vietnam were nothing but gracious to us. It was a wonderful experience and one that I won't soon forget.